Yeah. Yeah. It was rough. All right. I think we're ready. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get there we go. We get some syncing audio. So welcome back to the Coffee Break Show presented by Revival Motoring. I'm Josh Garcia, and today I'm sitting here with my friend. Do you want to go by Efrain or Leon? I always refer to you as Leon.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Efrain Leon, he's a photographer from the New England area, Providence in particular. He shoots amazing photos, portraits, street photography, and of course, automotive stuff. So you're here today. You brought me 10 photos. You brought some gear. Let's get right into it. What gear did you bring for me today? Because I told you bring some of your favorite stuff.
Right. So this is kind of without a choice. I recently picked this up from our good friend Raf.
Yep.
This was supposed to be my second camera. It is a Fujifilm X Pro 1. It is 13 years old.
Yep.
And it is what I've been primarily using for the last couple months. I was on a more, I don't know, like higher end Fuji, the XT4 and the XE4, but I got rid of them both regretfully. So this is my main camera now. Mostly just everyday. It's small.
Yeah.
It's light. And I brought the 18 millimeter f2 is a 28 equivalent for full frame. 23 1.4 from Viltrox, 35 full frame equivalent. And then the 56 1.2, which is an 85 equivalent.
Yep.
These are my three main lenses, and I feel like I don't need any more lenses because they cover the basic full. I could do rollers. I could do some tight isolation shots, and they're all pretty. Honestly, I shoot everything with them. So
yeah,
if anything, I just pick up this one the most because this on this and call it a day. Yeah,
very versatile.
Right.
I had an X Pro 1. I need to get an X Pro something again someday.
Don't get the 3
because like that form factor in hand and with the smaller lenses is just one of the funnest. Just like the X100 series of Fujis.
Yeah.
Like those X Pros are killer. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. I kind of hope they make a 4, but
supposedly
we'll find out.
They are. Yeah. I don't know for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they discontinued the 3 now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's hope, but it's just going to be what the XH2 is with a very small body.
Different body. Yeah.
So.
You don't want to shoot any zooms?
No.
Okay.
You know,
fair enough. Yeah.
I used to, especially for drift events and all that, but
yep.
I mean, especially for Lock City, 85 is fine.
Right. You're
just
covered.
move back and forth away from the track.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something about the primes now that I don't feel it necessary. I mean, if I was going to spend my money on a zoom, it's probably the new 70 to 300 for Fuji. So I hear it's an amazing lens. It's super sharp. But that's it. And even then I try that for street photography because that sounds fun.
What does that stop down to?
4 F4.
Okay. It is 4.
Yeah. So nothing crazy.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, F4 at 300 or anywhere near 300 is going to look wild regardless. So.
Right. But I mean, maybe not on this because this has like no image stabilization.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, that'd probably be the only zoom lens that I would buy.
Yep.
Everybody screams a 16 to 55 2.8, and that thing is a brick. I'm not buying that. It's way too big.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, I'm happy with primes. I've primarily always, no pun intended. I've always been a prime person regardless. Cause I just, after a while, just having one lens and just, you kind of work harder for the shot, but it's also like, it's more satisfying. Cause you're like, I had one lens. I didn't have to zoom. I just moved.
It's another less thing to think about.
Yes.
Like, all right, I'm just going to move my body to recompose versus, dial this in at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite f-stop to shoot at or just whatever works?
Lately, I'm usually between F4 and F8.
Okay.
Unless I'm doing something like detail where I like need the bokeh. And, you know.
So I was just going to say you generally like to have currently a lot of stuff in focus.
Yeah. I don't know. It's different. Everybody goes for the, like the isolation or whatever.
Yep.
Like
I recently watched Oppenheimer, and there's a couple shots in that movie where Nolan shoots at a very, very shallow depth of field, very low on the f-stop. And it's crazy because for such a high-end movie, seeing an actor or actress go in and out of focus because it's so shallow, it was a very cool and dreamy look. But to see that applied, like it's cool. It was different. I never usually see something that shallow.
I feel like artistically, like that movie's like at least for like videographers and photographers, it's got to be awesome. Highly recommend. From the trailer, it looks amazing.
Yeah, like movie itself, obviously, but like just from a cinematic standpoint, for sure, it's very, very influential. I'm sure it will be.
I gotta watch it.
So let's move right along to the photos that you brought us today. I asked you to bring 10 of your favorites. These are in no particular order. Let's just start with this one. This is, you obviously have a passion for street photography and love to do that.
Yes.
Why did you bring us this image?
So for me, out of all of 2022, this is my favorite shot. I've always found it really hard having subjects layered, especially in street photography. And there's a lot going on in the scene, but there's also not, like, it's not too distracting in the back.
There's endless layers to this photo.
Yeah. And to like the crazy thing is this is very subtly edited. Like the day was hazy. Like,
was it morning?
No, this was like 2 p.m.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I actually made a YouTube video during this scene, and like I took this shot and the day was over. Like I was done.
Yeah.
You
just felt that strongly with this photo.
Yeah.
I mean, the composition, obviously, like you're shooting through something.
It's a bike wheel.
Okay. I was going to say, it looks like a wheel of some sort. Yeah. So that for that being that large and that spoke being that large, you were super close.
That was actually the 56.
Okay.
Yeah. So but
physically, I mean, you were shooting through it super
Sorry,
close. Yeah. No.
I can't.
So the wheel itself frames the photo.
Yeah.
On top of it, naturally being framed from the actual sensor, but and then like you were saying, the layers, because you watch and you can walk right through them all, of the wheel, the street itself, the gentleman who seems to be the main subject, everybody else behind him, and then you continue to look further down, and like I always like to look at the leading lines of the light posts.
Yeah.
Continues. Do you remember what f-stop you shot this at?
It was probably f4, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I usually on street stuff, I don't want, I tend to shoot aperture priority.
Okay.
Just so I could focus more on the scene.
Yep.
I don't have to play with, settings too much.
Right.
So just to have a decent shutter speed and let the camera do its thing, I usually stay between f4 and f6.
I mean, the lighting on this as well.
Dude, it's
the way it's illuminating the subject. It's like a hair light or a highlight, on that dude, which is basically haloing around him, but not blown out. It's so cool. It's an awesome photo.
I've never actually seen this shot this big.
Yep.
So it's actually like, it's kind of exciting to just relook at it from this format, but
it's cool. What's funny also is the clock, like you said, around 2:00. It's literally like 2:05.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't even look at the damn clock.
Yeah, the clock in the background. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm just like trying to go by memory, but
where was this? Was this Providence or
Boston? This is downtown.
It is
just downtown Prov. I just don't know the street.
Okay.
I walk down it like every weekend, to be honest. But I don't know. I took countless photos for 2022, and this was it.
One that stood out.
Yeah, especially for my street stuff, because I usually hate all my street shit. Even if I post like something and it gets good feedback, I probably didn't really like it too much.
Yep.
So this was it.
It's an awesome photo. And again, just the framing of it alone is just, everything works.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Let's hit the next one. So what's funny is I think I know where this is in Boston.
Yeah.
Cause I'm pretty sure I shot a car. Matter of fact, Kyle Belcher's car, like right near this from that road. And I think we switched, and I shot some panners on the back road as well. It's just a cool spot. So why did you bring this photo?
This was when I first started shooting Fujifilm. I like the colors.
Okay.
You know, I surprisingly, I fucked up and I shot this in JPEG.
Okay.
But I was still able to edit it a little bit, but without, you know, blowing out the colors, because you know how some JPEGs work once you start editing them.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Fuji in general, colors are probably the best in my opinion. Like, so you had a lot of good to work with to begin with.
yeah. So for me, I like adding, like if, let's say I shoot somewhere busy or crowded or people are walking, I like to get the people in the shot because it's just like a little touch of street photography. Regardless, those two on the left are oblivious to the, you know, what's amazingness is on their left side.
Yeah.
But I just wanted the city in the back. We had recently came from a rooftop garage and I wasn't really happy with what we had for a background.
Yep.
There's not a lot of accessible rooftop garages in Boston that I know of.
Yep.
So we were driving around and he was like, oh, what about this street? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we did a bunch of side shots. And at the time I was my buddy, Steven, he was shooting that side. So I was like, oh, let me play around with, for some reason, I've always done this with like grass and trees. I like to get them in the foreground.
Right.
So I literally just sat there and played with this shot. And this was one of my favorite frames just cause you get the direction of the car, you know where you're going. And then you have this beautiful city section in the back with that bridge.
Yep. And
I always seen that bridge, but I was like, where the hell can I shoot this bridge from? So it was kind of like just to pull everything together.
Plus I was gonna say it just worked out for all the stuff you were looking at.
Yeah. Plus it's a, Black Series.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
why not?
Yeah, just put that thing up in a bunch of different places and it's going to look wild.
It's not to go off topic, but he had the good friend of mine, Omid, he had the AMG GTR previous to this, and he had the Niki Lauda plate. And it hit so good. And then he put that, and I was like, okay, I'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah. Let's switch to the next one. Another street.
This is recent. This is this year, a couple months ago, actually.
So does this feel like your shot for 2023?
No.
Okay.
No. This has been a weird year for me.
Yep.
And I noticed when you asked me for the photos, I was like, I didn't really shoot much this year. Just I let life and just people fuck my time up.
Yep.
Because I usually like to go out every weekend. So this was probably one of my best shots for the summer.
Yep.
Not for 2023. I'd have to dig, but this one stood out.
This is in Providence as well, right?
That's
I think
the
I
pedestrian
recognize
bridge.
that bridge. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And this guy's always there. And one day I just sat and just like listened to him. I was like, oh man, this is nice. It's very, very beautiful, like voice.
Yep.
And he sings in Spanish and Italian.
Oh, okay.
So he's over there. I think at the time he was playing like some flamenco for people who know guitars, or guitar playing. And it was just before, probably like an hour before sunset. And I always like catching I make people silhouettes.
Yep.
So
just a backlit.
it was him and the accordion guy.
Yeah.
There's always an accordion guy. And I got the accordion guy once, but I wanted this guy. And I just posted up against the wall without being weird because I know anytime I take a picture of him, he's like looking for a tip. I was like, I'm cashless, bro. Sorry. So
I was wondering if he kind of knew you took this.
He's seen me a little bit. Like he'll acknowledge me. Sometimes like I have left him a tip.
Yeah.
But this one, I think this was the first time I was like being sneaky.
Hey man, I get it.
So
I don't carry cash.
Respectfully, I'm gonna take this shot of you. But
let me get you next time.
I like the way he peeks, or the sun peeks behind him. He kind of gets lost. It's kind of
right.
It's kind of more like, I don't want to say dreamy because dreamy is abused, but it's definitely got that effect. And especially this year, I took more to editing kind of cinematic-y. Yep. Which is loosely interpreted depending on who you're, who's looking at the photo.
Which cinematographer you want to try to not mimic, but
not that I can name one, but
right.
At least the style wise. But yeah, like anytime I'm on this bridge during sunset, I always turn people into silhouettes, and this had been to be one of those shots. I had another shot that was contending with this, but it was, I don't know. I felt like this one fit a little better.
It's cool because I like how big that wall looks as well, and how the boards are elongated.
I think that one was with this one. That was with the 18.
With the 18?
Yeah. That's actually, if I'm not mistaken, this is when I first got the lens and I was trying it out.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I carry a quarter stop Pro Mist on this all the time.
Yep.
Just cause.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Any idea what f-stop for this? Or same thing, kind of general, F4 to plus.
On the 18, like, I don't play with anything under F4 just because it tends to be on the softer side.
Yeah.
So even now it's not at F4. Like,
right.
Yeah. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, probably at F4.
Let's move on to the next one. One from Lock City.
Yes. One of my favorite ones. I think this was this year too. This is when I was shooting with the XT4, I believe. And this was with the 56.
Okay.
But I think I shot this at f1.4.
Yep.
Just because I like playing with
that shallowness. I mean, it does look.
I might be full of shit because this is obviously a panning shot, so maybe not f1.4. But I'm judging by just like the depth of field because the drivers are a little blurry, but the front end is sharp.
And that wheel in particular, and the front bumper headlight all towards the left are super sharp.
Yeah, I should have looked at. I knew you were going to ask me too, and I was like, I should look at what these all are at because my computer saves that stuff.
Yeah,
but no.
I mean, it's near impossible to remember, like, because I couldn't. Some of them, unless I really had a photo that would tell me. This one in particular. Cool. Do you remember what shutter speed you shot at? Or actually, can you look it up?
I think.
Do you have the Fuji? Is it on the Fuji app, or are you just linking?
So F11.
Oh, okay. All right.
F11. So, I knew I was like, where the hell's my
It's
head
probably going to be a really slow shutter speed.
Actually 100.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
100.
It's a Corvette just going really fast.
Yeah. ISO 400. Yeah, that's pretty much it. F11. On Lock City, I'm always usually at around F11.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I went with f1.4. Don't judge me. But again, that was going based off judgment. But yeah,
I think one of my favorite parts of that photo is that front wheel.
That's primarily why I shot that.
The showing what's contacted.
Yeah.
And it's just such a cool.
Yeah. That's something I've always liked, especially with drifting. Yep. I try to get the wheel specifically.
Yeah.
I started doing that as a spectator. Before I started doing media.
Just naturally watching the wheels. Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, like it's something a lot of people don't pay attention to, but it's kind of like, it sounds cheesy, but it's like beautiful. Like
the
rotation of the wheel, the way the smoke's coming out.
Watching a cinematic shot of somebody drifting, especially if it's very in tight on a real wheel in particular. And watching that in a high frame rate on video and seeing if they use the e-brake, how they enter, but then seeing, there's the power applied and you can see the rotation spin up, and it's a cool looking, all the Gymkhanas when they slowed down that sort of stuff. It's very beautiful. Right. It really is.
Yeah. It's just something like I started doing where the car would have to be specific, but it would pass by and I would look at the rear or the front wheel, depending on where I was on the track. And I was like, I got to get a picture of that specifically.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be the whole car, just the wheel. Yeah. Especially if the tire smoke's like, I don't know, pretty. Like, and it's nice and cloudy.
It can be a cloud, right? It can form some natural beauty, even though it's
not that wispy smoke.
Literally a high horsepower car ripping the earth. Let's see, let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, this one. Another example.
That's a perfect to continue the wheel conversation. The colors on obviously this is with a Fuji.
This was Fuji, yeah.
Okay.
This was the XE4.
Okay.
So it's smaller than this guy.
Right, and that's a fixed lens camera, right?
Nope. That was detachable, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
the colors on this are what get me. Because between the highlights and shadows of the red and the way it works on the car itself, the highlighted reds on the rear of the car, that section looks incredible. And the way blends into the shadows. Actually, even the more I notice, like for instance, the front calipers in focus as well.
Oh shit! I didn't even.
It's just, like not only
I never looked at that.
Not only is the rear tail light and trunk lid highly in focus, but that front caliper is too, and it looks really, really good.
That's at f10.
F10, okay.
And that
same shutter speed.
So this is when I had the Viltrox 75.
Okay.
And that's a 135
Now
equivalent.
Is that are you manually focusing that?
Nope. That's autofocus.
It is for autofocus because the the EV1 has the drive motor, or is it the lens that has the focus motor?
The lens has the focus motor.
Okay. So it did. All right. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the first day using that lens. And
I love that shot. I just like composition is great.
I'm not big on blowing out shadows anymore.
Yep.
Like I like the not really high contrast. I just touch it a little bit.
Let them do their thing.
But before I used to be like, oh, let's see what's in the deep.
What's popping out. Right.
But for here, like it works because we all know lighting at Lock City sucks sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's midday,
either,
right? And you're just the harshest of.
And that's like
that. I believe like that's
12
midday.
o'clock. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I know that exact day. Yeah, that's the thing is like that makes this photo beautiful because you can see the harsh light. It's there. Like I can see the highlights on the rear where that sun is. It's directly above that car.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not blown out. As actually, yeah, again, the more I look at it, even within the smoke itself, like obviously it's smoke, it's as white can be, but you can still see the bumper through it and everything.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the Viltrox. I think, yeah. Because my
135 makes sense of
from a 75
from
for a crop.
And like, yeah, how
yeah, because I'm thinking of
strong the car fills the frame.
Mm-hmm. And that was at F10. So
that's cool. And you can see like even the GoPro, the catch can, all the stuff in the back.
Yeah.
That's
especially on that turn, 80th of a second is safe.
Yep.
You know, but like enough to get the right amount of blur.
Show the motion. Yeah.
I stopped doing the try hard. Like
right.
the F, like 115. Yeah, no thanks. I'm done.
Right. I got one photo all weekend.
I got one photo out of 400.
Yeah.
No.
Let's pop the next one up.
I love this shot.
This one. Okay.
Yeah. Like, so I got, I got real big on shooting the paddock.
Yep.
Just cause like you either get the different characters of people, you get people doing different things, they're changing wheels or they're pissed off at their car or they're under their car. They look like they're taking a nap.
There could very easily be a lot of emotion in the paddock.
Mm-hmm. But for some reason, this shot always makes me feel good. Don't know why. Like I'm big on like the shot making you feel some type of way, especially myself.
Yeah.
It's like even like the guy with the guitar, I was like, yeah, it's a good shot, but like, it doesn't do anything.
Doesn't hit you.
But for some reason, every time I look at this shot, one, I love that car.
Yep.
And I don't know how many times this is Matt, right? Yeah. Sorry. But I'm absolutely obsessed with that car. The setup, the style just reminds me of the old JD, like Japan option videos, all the night toge videos. So that's one. And then just the colors and the sky, I don't know. It just that was a really good day. And Raph's in the picture.
Raph's in the picture. Kevin's in the picture.
Yeah. And
I think no, I don't think
so. That was the same day I shot Ryan Turk's Celica GT4. So that's probably why there was so much emotion in there.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen a GT4 and he let me shoot it.
Yep.
So this was after, and I walked up and this I don't know, man. Like
you were just elated with the day
already.
Scene
Yeah. But anytime I pull up this photo, it just more so the colors and everything going on. It just looks like a happy day. Like
the colors and talk about a perfect looking sky. That's that's what you want the ideal sky to look like.
I absolutely love this. I don't even know how to describe it, but there's something
that hits you personally. Yeah, directly.
I just absolutely love it. And it's just a really good side shot of his freaking car. you know, with the, I don't know. I sound retarded right now, but it's,
No, there's a lot of depth to it.
yeah, I don't know. I love that shot. Actually, I think I can tell you where this one was at, I believe. So F4, of course. And that was with I believe at the time a 16 mil. So 24 millimeter. And
which is good because the car doesn't look warped or anything too.
Yeah, that lens is amazing. The 16 f2.
Yeah.
Or 16 2.8.
It's still, for as wide as it is, it's still flat.
Yeah. But definitely, I got to print this.
I think you should.
Now that I see it this big, I'm like, this has to get printed.
Yeah, for sure.
Jesus Christ, I'm really gushing over this photo.
Let's hit the next one.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, this to me, this was like Gran Turismo. Like I'm on a track, I'm playing with the photo settings.
Or what the hell was that? Old school arcade Sega Rally. Do you remember that one?
Oh,
like with one of these, but with the Castrol livery.
Oh,
yeah.
But this was, I actually have 2 shots of this, but I chose this one just because you just get more of the car.
Yep.
The other one, like a much, I stood way back, so you get a better view of the track. But for some reason, I went with this one. I just like, one, it's a Silica GT4, and I just like the way the track slopes that way.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say perfect. That's like too high, but like you have woods, you know, you're close to what maybe there's a dirt track somewhere and we're just going to beat the shit out this car. But
right.
But for me,
you can kind of, it can build its own story.
Yeah.
Like it starts you off with what it is and where it is. But
for me though, it's just because it's, you know, it just brings me back to playing Gran Turismo for years and playing with the photo mode.
Yep.
So that was a big thing for me because it's hard to shoot cars on track, like on the dead section of track.
Right.
Because especially back there, you either have trailers or just some
stuff that can take away.
The Z guys are usually back there.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But that part, I was like, dude, let me shoot this over here.
It looks awesome. And the the lighting of everything is great. I'm assuming that was like midday as well, because I mean, the car literally looks like it's lit directly from above.
But it was nice. It was that was that same sky that Matt's car was in. But for some reason it was like you said, like it was perfect. It was soft. It was soft light. Sometimes you get soft light in midday. It's tough. But
I mean, there was enough clouds in the sky. So, you know, catch a big enough one and can light it proper.
Right. I think I did suck the highlights out a little bit because it's obviously it's a white car at 12 o'clock. It's going to glow.
Right. Yeah. It's literally look like it's glowing in the dark. Next one. Let's see.
Damn. I never see these photos this big. So it's kind of like new to me. This is really cool.
So this one in particular, I remember you posting these. And I thought, Mike, that is a great set of photos. Just everything like works really well between the car itself, the location you picked, and of course the lighting.
I think I was on Canon at the time. This is when I had my 90D and my 6D Mark II.
Okay.
But I believe I shot this on the 90D. This was actually in Woonsocket, Cumberland, up in the Highland Park area. This was probably right around 2 o'clock.
Yep.
But it had just rained like earlier in the day.
Okay.
But that bullshit rain. It's not really raining.
Yeah.
Drizzle.
Fucking
drizzle.
Yeah. Somewhat like make some things like somewhat wet.
Yeah. There's a sad part because where I met him in Smithfield, and there's a gas station over there. I think right off of 295. The Smithfield exit, not the one with all the plazas, the one before it.
Yep.
Suck at locations. But the way the sun was hitting the car, I took a shot of it at the gas pump and it was like, holy shit. It was at the 7-Eleven. That's over there. Is it 7-Eleven? Doesn't matter. Anyways, but I ended up deleting that photo.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like, that's the sad part of seeing these photos. Cause for me, the gas station shot was way better than anything I posted.
Yeah. Because a gas station, if there's gas station plus car
and lighting
can make for a great scene.
Yeah.
Because it's such a natural place for a car to be.
Yeah. And it's funny because the gas station shot, the sun was coming in perfectly. It was a little hazy.
Yep.
But the way it cut the car, you caught the back end and like it was nice and warm.
Yep.
And I don't know what the hell happened. I formatted my card and I completely forgot I did that.
That it was there. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll probably never get that option because he sold that car too after.
Yep.
But that area is really cool, especially for, you know, that color car. You have that kind of background. It's a little dynamic, but it's not like too flat.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good shot. Again, I never see these freaking shots this big, so it's really cool.
Let's hit the next one.
Yes. Derek, you had Derek in yours too. Yeah. So Derek's shot. This was a try hard roller because I don't.
you really pushed it.
Yeah, this was a try hard roller because I don't do Photoshop stuff.
Yep.
So this was at 1/8 of a second.
Holy shit.
On 195 coming from Seekonk.
Wow. So
F13.
Wow. So at 1/8 to have that much of the car,
this was on Canon,
that sharp is wild, especially that diffuser. The diffuser, the canard above, the whole front bumper, headlight itself. And I mean, it falls off. Obviously it falls off a little bit, but even the interior of the car, you can somewhat see, you can see his face. It's not, you know, tack sharp, but it's sharp enough.
Yeah.
The license plate itself.
That's F13 for aperture.
Yep.
And then one, yeah.
But at 1/8, like that's
yeah.
And you're probably doing 65, 70 at least highway speed.
Ooh, we were doing 70.
Okay. Were you shooting? This is out of a window.
Yeah, I hung out the car.
Yep. Yep.
But when I had Canon, I had more zoom lenses.
Yep.
Don't know why this change happened when I went to Fujifilm. So this was on a 10-18.
Okay.
That was like my roller lens.
Yep.
But this was out of like 50 shots. And
right, again,
that's the
yeah,
sharpest.
like we said, it's like, all right, you got one usable one.
Right.
But I mean, as far as sharpness, like that, you nailed it for that one. For this, same thing, autofocus, you know,
I'm aiming at the wheels.
Okay.
Anytime I do rollers, I aim at the wheel.
Okay.
The wheel that's closest to me.
Yep.
Just because it's easier to get more of what you want in focus.
And again, like doing it that way, all right, you get the front of the car in focus, and if the focus falls off towards the end, it's not,
fine.
You're not losing it. It won't look obscure as if
Right.
the rear was in focus and the front just not.
Right. And even anytime I do, so anytime I do this angle, I always aim at the wheels, and I never really care about the fall off because for me, the most important part is the front end.
Yeah.
Like if I'm worried about fall off, I'll just do a side shot, and then I'll worry about getting the whole car in focus. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, especially I have a shot of my buddy's STI because I got big on doing rear end rolling shots.
Yep.
So I'll get super close to the rear tire.
Yep.
Like I just want you to focus on the back end of the car. I don't care about the fall off towards the front. That's
Right.
not
Right.
important.
You're highlighting that portion
Right.
of it.
Right. And you know, with the RX-7, as much as I love the car in general, that front end is just for me.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. No, that's a great one. And in shooting that slower shutter speed and nailing the focus on that thing, or to hold your hand still enough while moving. Like that's an awesome
I got to
shot.
give it up to the camera. The 90D had, I believe that camera had image stabilization. Don't remember too well, but anytime I took a roller with that, I could try hard and it'd be all right.
Up.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one.
It's my favorite shot of all time.
I was going to say, I seen this one earlier.
It's my favorite shot of all time.
As I was loading these up, and I'm just like, that is a great shot.
I also got to give it up to the edit though. Like the shot's good, but I think the edit is what gives you that like, oh shit. Like, I don't know. This was 2019. So everybody was abusing Moody.
Yep.
It's definitely Moody. The edit is Moody, but
Right.
and and Formula Drift, New Jersey, obviously the wall, that track's not a thing anymore.
Yep.
But like out of all the places you could stand, so I shot this.
I mean, a lot of this too, like you were standing in a very great spot to capture this particular, like, and I love how you were far away because you could take this shot from the infield and be closer to the car, but you wouldn't get the entire scene as much as you did.
And that was so obviously I was a spectator. I didn't know shit about signing up for Formula Drift.
Yep.
So this was with a 200 mil kit lens.
Yep.
1/60th of a second, f6.3. And
wow, 1/60th. And you were still panning for that. No, so it was just straight out.
Straight out, yeah.
Okay.
So I was on the other side of the track. There is a little bit of a crop.
Okay.
But obviously, even this blown up, it's still very sharp.
And what I love about it, wow. So you said there's a 200 mil?
Yeah.
Holy shit. And how wide it looks is just, that's the part for,
but like I said, I did crop a little bit. Not crazy.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean,
I'll admit,
I don't think you could. Right.
Yeah.
Like that's not,
because I was behind a fence.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Like, I think I tried emailing this to Dean himself because I was like, dude, this is such a good shot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you do with it. I just have to show you.
Just share it. Right.
But yeah, I think this was one of the very last runs for qualifying.
Okay.
And I decided to just stand there. I was like, oh, this is a different viewpoint from the bleachers. And then his run comes out and I was like, oh,
I mean, it's so good because you can, it tells the whole story. You can see where he came from and you can see where he's going.
Right.
And like, you just captured him in the middle of that.
I just love the smoke.
That's what I was just going to say is like,
it's like a painting.
The length that the smoke is dragged and it's still in focus and it's like sharp. You clearly it's defined. It's not blurry looking on top of the car itself. Too. Being super sharp. I mean, you can literally watch where it starts. It's bellowing off the rear wheels and follow it all the way back.
Just going into the trees.
It's such a cool
just keeps
shot.
Going. Yeah. This is, I printed this shot and this is the one shot I won't get rid of. Like I usually sell my prints.
Yep.
Or I'll give them out if people like need like shit for their walls.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is one I can't.
Yep.
I can't.
Again, this is one, like you said, there's a bit of an emotional attachment to that one.
Yeah.
Nah, it's an awesome shot. And I think that brings us to the end of them. Yeah, that's it. Are you going to shoot more cars this year? Next year?
I plan on it. Less drifting.
Okay.
So if I do go to a drift event, it's got to be something special.
Yeah.
Like no offense to
no,
City,
just something. Yeah.
I've been doing that since 2017 and I'm kind of over it.
Yep.
And this year and last year, I took a dive off of shooting privately. So next year, I want to get back into shooting privately more. Yeah. Like even after like the donut meets, and pull a couple cars and be like, hey, you want to do photos somewhere? I want to do more stuff like that. I obviously want to do more street photography, but I need to travel more because I'm over Providence as well.
Right.
So I was just telling him, I was like, let's go to Boston, let's go to New York. You mentioned Portland, Maine.
Yep.
Like just walk and just experience different cities.
I was going to say like a day in New York City. It's a long day, but it's more than doable. Yeah. And you get like, I guarantee you'd be.
I've done New York.
Reignited and just like, holy shit.
Yeah. Like, but for me, New York, I need like a whole weekend.
Right.
Because like 8 hours before, like I like just taking the train over there. It's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Yep.
But I definitely like, I need more Hondas. I need more well-built Hondas. Like 2018 and 2019 were all exotics.
Yep.
And the Porsches and Ferraris, that was cool. But like, I need the old school JDMs. I need the well-built, like I want character, you know what I mean? But that's my goal for this year is just to even like, I don't need to make money off of it. You know what I'm saying? If
just
you want
to fulfill your own,
give me an hour of your time or something and just, you know, and we'll call it a day.
Yeah.
But I need more of that. Like that part of, that was a different part of me that I feel like I don't want to sound cheesy, but I feel like I lost that. And I just, this year, towards the end of this year, I'm like ready for it again, you know?
Right. I mean, sometimes you just need a break as well.
It wasn't intentional.
It just
it's just the way things were, you know, but like, I don't know. It comes down to like everyone too, you know, people, there's too many flakes, too many, let's shoot. And then it never happens. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me just focus on street photography this year. And even then I failed at that, I feel, for this year. So next year I'm cars and street photography, you know.
I'm excited to see it. One of my favorite photographers around locally in general, people as well. I mean, you're a big supporter of Revival to begin with, and I genuinely appreciate that.
I appreciate you saying that.
Where can everybody find you?
Instagram.
Okay.
My YouTube is dead. It's too much work. But ELJ Streets on Instagram. You'll primarily see street photography, obviously, but there'll be more cars.
Some cars mixed in there. Just the right flavor.
Yeah.